What is up, guys? It is of course Oprelia AI here, and today we're going to be learning how to prompt properly with Seedance 2.0. I'm going to be showing you a couple of cool techniques which will end up making your videos better, and also a couple of different tricks and loopholes how to basically avoid the censorship in the system as well. Before we start, quick shout out to jxp.com, who basically hooked your boy up with some credits so I can show all these cool things that you can currently do with Seedance 2.0. And we're going to be starting off with the most important lesson, which is the prompt structure. And Seedance 2.0 currently supports text to video and also reference-based generation. Both of them have, by the way, same credit costs. So I always recommend using references, especially of the characters that are going to be appearing, because that will allow the whole video to keep the character consistent in the style and not have a lot of distortions. So always use reference generation, because the AI may not know like what character that you're prompting, or maybe you're doing some copyrighted character. It's always really good to use references. Obviously, you can add up to 9 images, up to 3 videos, and up to 3 audio clips as well. Audio is mostly for music. I would argue that Seedance does a really good job with the audio in general. And in terms of the video, that's kind of like for more specific motions, like maybe there's a dribbling move in a basketball scene or something like that you want to copy. It's good for that. But let's say your reference video is 3 seconds, you want to make the prompt then like 5 seconds long, so you can basically execute that specific video prompt. So usually whatever video reference you have, make sure that the duration of the prompt is going to be longer than that. And I added out basically this girl in this golden costume already here as a reference. That is going to be our focal point over here. And that's like a almost 9:16 ratio, not exactly. That doesn't really matter that much. In general, you want to have characters that are against like a blank wall or something like that, that they're not like entangled into some glue or stuff like that, because that might cause problems. So it's very important that there's no clutter. So you can obviously easily with AI ask, remove the background, just keep a plain background. That's going to be your best reference. Some Seedance versions also obviously support that there's going to be multiple angles of that character, which can be used as references. So that's also kind of useful. So what we're going to be doing first here in terms of structure is going to be always the opening scene, what you're going to be seeing first. So the scene starts with at image 1. So that's going to be the first explanation. So first is going to be always the opening scene, the start of it. The second part we're going to be writing is going to be the action, what is going to be happening. In the third, we are going to be describing the shot. We're going to be describing like, is it 4K? What is the weather? What is the lighting? Things like that. Usually those don't need to be done, but if you want a really high-end production, high-end like end result, that's sometimes a really good thing to have on the prompt. And then lastly, you can also describe the audio, like specific sound effect or things like that. Usually I think it gets all of those things right and doesn't feel unnatural, so I don't usually do that, but you can do that if you want to. So scene starts with image 1, who is walking to a center of the room. Then she snaps her fingers and her costume turns from gold to silver. And there might be, I'm not English first speaker, so there might be grammar errors there. If you're not very good at grammar, I really recommend using ChatGPT to do that. Okay, now we have explained the starting scene and all that stuff. Then we're going to be describing the background. The video is in 4K, natural lighting, and that's basically everything I want to add. And maybe you can describe the audio. We can hear high heels. Is it actually high? Does he have high heels? I'm not sure. No, she doesn't. We can hear sneaker sounds as she walks. Sneaker sounds, yeah. So that's our prompt. And we're going to be going with Seedance 2.0 Fast. And I would argue that they're basically the same with Pro. Obviously, Fast is a lot more cheaper. But if the scene is extremely complex and there's a lot of different things, I think Pro is better. But in this very specific context, I think Fast is really good, as it's not a very complex scene. We're going to be making this 10 seconds long, and then we're going to be generating the video. Okay, so here is our end result. So it's basically following our instructions to the bone. First of all, she's walking to the center of the room. Then she snaps her fingers and her clothes change into silver. Now, obviously, in the process, she does kind of take out the whole jacket, which was not our intention, but that's a very minute detail in my opinion. Then, obviously, we did prompt in also the step sounds, and those were also added into the prompt. So once you actually give a lot of instructions, the prompter will basically follow it to the bone most of the time. Now let's actually do something a bit more complex now. And there's luckily a couple of different tools which help you with actual prompt structure. So one of my colleagues was actually has done a prompt generator in JetGPT. This is by Noble Goose. So shout outs to him for basically doing this tool. And you can add reference images. So we're going to be doing an anime battle scene right now. So I've added out a background of the battle, and then I added two different images, sorry. And we're going to be adding an epic anime fight with Sakuga scenes taking place in the battlefield, length being 15 seconds. And basically, this will format your request into an actual prompt. It will also add these image tags over here, which most of these Seedance 2.0 prompters basically use. It will give you also reference mapping and things like that based on the images you have attached. Okay, and now I have basically passed it out the prompt. I also have added out the characters here and the references, and it looks pretty much good. There's a lot of detail about what is going on in the actual scene, parrying, different types of sword fights, all that type of stuff. And in the end, it also says generate video without subtitles. Now, when you actually do certain types of dialogues in the actual scene, it will sometimes automatically add subtitles, which can be very inconvenient. So make sure you're going to be using that in the end. So all types of negative elements that you don't want to see, always add them to the end of the prompt. I'm also going to be adding no dialogue into the end. Then we're going to be choosing the recommended aspect ratio, which is 16:9. We're going to be also using Pro Model here this time, and we're going to be making it 15 seconds. And now we're going to be waiting until we get done. Okay, so let's look at the end result. So it didn't turn out to be horrible, but definitely not like super amazing. I know for a fact that you can do a lot more better like fighting scenes with Seedance. Maybe one of the reasons is that the main character is very, very big and sluggish, and the AI is like trying to make him move like slow because this is like his body type, okay. There was also this weird like vibration type of a sound that you hear with Grok. So that was something that I've never seen with Seedance before, and that kind of sucked. But otherwise, like, yeah, there's the movement, there's the action. The sword movements don't look that amazing. Maybe it's because the proportion of the characters are too different from each other. But fundamentally, yeah, it was using the background we gave it and all that stuff. But it didn't turn out to be amazing. If we did actually try out a couple of different attempts with it, maybe it would give us a bit of an end result. So sometimes it's not going to go the way you want it to in the first try. Now, there's also a third and the last format to basically form out your prompts. And this one is basically a second-based system. So you're going to be telling precisely at this second, this is going to be happening, and this is going to be happening. Then we will move into this, and this second, it's going to be something different. So I basically took out a prompt that was used on a viral Seedance 2.0 video about like time stop. It was very, very impressive. And we're going to be using that as our base. We're going to be going with 15 seconds as it is instructed. Now, I've used this format a couple of times. The benefit of this is that it's actually following the prompt the most closest, when you are using and breaking it down per second, and you're going to be getting your most precise result by using this format. Now, because sometimes when we do, like, let's say, oh, the characters are doing a fighting scene, you maybe not have like a good idea, like, is this going to last for 5 seconds or 10 seconds? So sometimes you just want the AI to kind of decide, like, the pace of the actual scene. But when you break it down by second, it's actually following it quite closely, and you're going to be getting a lot more closer to your actual vision. But do not add too many things into specific like 3-second segment. It may not be able to have the time to do all that and execute all that within that frame. And there's a lot of things and details here. It also breaks down the scene details and the subject details at the same time. You don't necessarily need to do the scene details and the subject. You can just, okay, describe what is basically happening. You can also maybe explain a bit about the camera on this segment. And definitely, this is going to be getting us really, really good results. This time around, I did not do image reference. I wanted to see basically how it's able to produce from just a text prompt. Okay, let's look at the end result. So I have to say it's pretty crazy, like how the AI decided to prompt her, because there was no reference image. I didn't want like a half naked girl here, but whatever, it is what it is. And when we actually look at it, it is not as great as the original one, but it's following goddamn close the instructions we gave, because in obviously in the first or the last frame, for example, in the last 3 seconds, the girl turns her head to stare intently, her gaze locking to the camera. Suddenly, a hand representing the protagonist, unaffected by time, reaches into the frame, gently pinching her cheek. And here it guys goes into a bit of like a slow motion. In the original shot, it kind of like totally freezes out. And I'm sure that if you would run this prompt a couple of times, you would basically get the end result. Even though there's a couple of weird things happening on the shots, but when you actually go into per second frames in this clip, you can definitely see the changes. Like here, for example, when the character pushes the button play for the track Sweet Dreams, as you can see, the background changes, the color changes here, it changes to something else. Be more like a slow motion thing. The filter could have been stronger for sure, but once again, it is following the instructions pretty closely. And this last shot, for example, is very close to the original, which this was based on. But yeah, I could have altered the prompt a bit more sensical. The whole sneaker thing turned out to be kind of weird, because I think in the original, it's just like the girl steps on the man's white sneaker instead. But hey, it is what it is. So this is like a one way you can get a lot more closer into your creative vision. Now, lastly, I do want to talk about a couple of tips and tricks that you want to do when you're going to be prompting out, things that you need to be wary about. So first and foremost, what may happen is that when you do a prompt and let's say you're going to be writing something like a man cuts another man's head off, this is something that is definitely going to be flagged by the system, especially if you're going to be typing like, and then there's a lot of blood and gore. So these are types of things that actually get filtered by Seedance, but there's actually a loophole for this, and that is actually taking this text and translating it into Chinese Mandarin text. So when you actually translate it into Chinese, there is a higher chance that the prompt will actually pass. And this is very precise, as the so-called American version or the Western version of Seedance has a lot more filters when it comes to celebrities and things like that. And Chinese is actually, ironically, less censored. So when you're going to be using Mandarin, you are going to be able to do a lot more violent scenes. I'm not saying you're going to be able to do anything erotic on things like porn or anything like that, but it's going to be definitely helping you out if your prompt is going to be automatically flagged. And sometimes the flags might be abnormal, and when you redo the prompt, it might actually let it go on the second time. That's just something that happens. It automatically sometimes false flags it. But the Chinese are one way to do it. Another thing is that if you're going to be having a dialogue between two characters, let's say the girl says to the man, bonjour. Okay. And so the girl is speaking in French. Now, the whole audio set of the film is actually like thinking in French. And if another person responds, like the man says, hello, what will happen is you obviously expecting that the man here now is speaking in English accent. What may happen if you're going to be mixing out two different languages within the same prompt is that now that hello part might actually come with a French accent. So when you are going to be doing prompts, which are going to be including multiple languages, you really want to maybe do it that on the post-production, or maybe just separate them all together, because sometimes when you add multiple languages, there's going to be weird accent flips in the whole thing, and that is maybe something you don't want to have on your clip. So just so you know, when you're going to be doing one language, keep it consistent throughout the prompt. Then something we already alluded earlier, also when you're going to be having talking in the video like we just had, also, you can add into the end no subtitles. Sometimes Seedance 2.0 automatically creates subtitles whenever there's going to be any form of dialogue in the clip. That can be really annoying because most people probably want to upload into YouTube. It has its own inbuilt translation systems, or visually you don't like that style of subtitles and you want more like an effect or something, or you're going to be doing redubbing after anyways. So that's important to have no subtitles in, also in the prompt. That usually should be your last thing in the prompt. Also, another one would be no music. There's a lot of the times when it's going to be creating random music, and especially when you're clipping two, prompts together, you have 15 seconds, another 15 seconds. In the first 15 seconds, there's going to be music, and obviously the music is not going to be consistent on the second one. So it's going to be creating weird dynamics if you're going to be having music randomly coming off, because you can't just exclude music with AI from sound effects. That's really hard thing to do, and I don't think there's any AI that can do it right now. So these are kind of my essential tips and tricks that I wanted to share with you guys today. Obviously, I really recommend looking at other people's prompts, viral prompts, what formatting they were using, what type of keywords they were using. You want to use many reference images as possible. Video references are okay, but most of the time, I wouldn't say that they are really that great. I don't think they end up being very successful. Sometimes they just like end up, doing completely something different that is not really what you were trying to do in the first place. And even in some occasions, the video prompt, it might just use the normal video prompt and not change anything, which just like completely ruins everything of your clip. But thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more of this type of guide tutorials and stuff like that, please check out my other videos as well and subscribe. And I will be seeing you guys in the next video when that will be dropping out. Cheers.